Daddy, where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, Sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Blog Talk Radio.
It's your Wednesday night mess around, the Metal Hammer of Doom, and I am your host with a belly full of barbecue, Mr. Mark Radledge, your mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, otherwise known as your old pal Wheezy, the lap dance enthusiast and a master of schedules. And joining me tonight, he's been my second chair now for a while, promoted up from third chair. He's the disapproving dad and a man who comes here every Wednesday night for his night school education in metalnomics. Metalnomics, ladies and gentlemen. It's the economics of metal. Ladies and gentlemen, from source material, Jesse Starcher, how do you do, sir? All right. Fucking Blog Talk Radio. Let's try that again. All right. Can you hear me now? God damn it. Oh, it's you. It's you. Robert Cooper, how do you do, sir?
So am I in third chair now?
Yeah, you've been demoted. You know what? I only see you in the queue is the problem. I don't see Jesse.
I laugh and like, oh great, you. It's like, gee, I guess we're basing this off attendance now, so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the original second chair, the co-host, the man who came up with the title for this show. He's been missing in action because of his job, but he's back, and I just slighted him. Mr. Robert Cooper, the Metal Coop. How do you do, sir?
Well, I was here last week, so that was a thing. For a third of the show, while I trolled my fucking management team. But yeah, I'm good though. I'm good. I got a fucking Wednesday off, and then I got the next 2 Wednesdays off. What?
Woo!
What is this? These shenanigans.
Oh
yeah.
My goodness.
I don't know how we're gonna be able to handle all this.
We might actually have a fucking schedule here of shows. So I have exciting news. And I shared this with my daughter earlier today, my 6-year-old daughter. I said, Lily, I want you to go back to school tomorrow. She was off today because she was now Jesse Starcher, who's joining us, will understand these parenting shenanigans. I turned to my 6-year-old daughter and I said, I want you to go back to school. She was out sick today, had a little bit of a fever, a little bit of a tummy ache, and I says to her, Lily, I want you to tell Miss Latero that on June 23rd, there's a new Goat Whore album coming out. Tell her, I want you to go into school and report the following. There's a new Goat Whore album coming out June 23rd, and we're very excited about this in the Radulich household. And my wife, believe it or not, was not happy that I shared this information with my 6-year-old. Not that she cared about that in particular, but that I insisted my 6-year-old tell the kindergarten teacher about it. Can you believe, Jesse Starcher, that some people might be offended by the name Goat Whore? Goat Whore. One word. Can you believe that?
Unbelievable. As I always...
Have you heard much Goat Whore, Jesse Starcher? Are you into
No, I have not.
Goat Whore?
I don't think I have, unless you've played them just in passing here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. I have not had the opportunity to listen.
We reviewed a whole album by them.
How long ago was that?
I think like a year or two ago. Whenever the last one was out.
A little bit.
Goat Whore album. Robert Cooper knows I'm obsessed with Goat Whore.
I mean,
maybe
these
I
fucking
have.
These fucking millennials, I swear, getting offended at everything.
Oh my
goodness! But ladies and gentlemen, we are not here to discuss Goat Whore or my other favorite band name, Dying Fetus. Dying Fetus also has a new album coming out. We will be covering both Dying Fetus and Goat Whore later this summer. You can bet your sweet bippy on that. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We are not here to talk about Dying Fetus or Goat Whore or cattle decapitation or anal cunt.
Or
waiting for somebody to bring that one up.
Or impaled Nazarene.
Yeah, or fucked. We're not here to talk about any of those bands. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to talk about La Familia. No, not the Latino World Order. We are here to talk about
Odele.
Arriba. Come, let me speak on this. Odele. Not that. We are here tonight to discuss Brooklyn's own Brooklyn. Life of Agony, baby. Straight out of 1993, y'all, with The River Runs Red. Oh my goodness. Now I don't want to go off on a tangent here about this, but I will say The River Runs Red is one of my favorite albums of all time. It's on my top 10 list of perfect albums. It is shot through the heart and you're to blame. You gave love a bad name. That's what it means to me, ladies and gentlemen. It is my high school years. That album was everything to me back in the day. And to this day, at almost 41 years old, I can still listen to River Runs Red and get into it just as much now as I did back in the early 90s. I loved Life of Agony, and even after they put out Ugly and then Soul Searching Sun and Broken Valley, I still regard Life of Agony's first two albums, River Runs Red and Ugly, as some of the best rock music I've ever heard. Now, that may be high praise, maybe too high praise for some of you. I'm going to let Robert Cooper and Jesse Starcher into the mix here, because we're going to talk about their new album tonight that came out on April 28th. Host Keith Caputo's transition to Mina Caputo several years ago. So, formerly a man, now a woman, all is right in her world. Got to make sure I get my pronouns, pal. I got to make sure I get my pronouns right.
Yeah.
All
because you were Tumblr.
All is right. I'm trying to be respectful, motherfucker. All is right in her world, Mina Caputo. We're going to talk tonight both comparatively and giving a place where there's no more pain its due as a standalone album post gender reassignment. Because I'll tell you, one of the things that made Life of Agony so distinctive were Keith Caputo's vocals, and they have since changed since he's transitioned. Yeah, quite. So we're going to talk about all that tonight. Now, I gave these two gentlemen some homework here. I'm going to shut up and let them talk a little bit about it. Before we get into a place where there's no more pain, I made them listen to River Runs Red and Ugly. I told them they didn't have to listen to Soul Searching Sun because it sucks, and no one likes Broken Valley. So just scratch them off your list. but it's almost a different band now. And so let me go over to you first, Mr. Cooper, since you have not had a lot of time on the show lately. Give you some speaking time. Just break into it here. What's your story on Life of Agony? How much of them had you heard before? Was this a brand new experience for you? And just roll with it, man. Give me some of your thoughts here on Triple R and Ugly.
Well, I've never actually listened to Life of Agony before this, so it's kind of a good thing you told me to do homework, because or else it would have been like that time you listened to Megadeth. With, I mean, this new album isn't that bad, but it's, I mean, it's definitely when you compare the two, it's like River Runs Red has a lot of good stuff to it. I'm sitting there, I got it playing in the background now, and I really like kind of the intensity that they have. The guitar work's really well done. I really like, I mean, the lyrics are kind of hit you, man. Compared to the newer album, like the newest album is the guitar work is Baby's first guitar riff. I really like
it is simple. I'll definitely give you that.
Like, I'm pretty sure I heard that new album. I think they might have taken it from the UFC opening bit soundtrack.
Ouch.
But I'm loving. But like, I really dig the. His name was it Keith? Keith Caputo?
Yeah.
Is that the guy?
No,
now
hang on,
artist,
pal. It's
artist
Nina Caputo,
formerly known as Keith Caputo.
Oh no! Are you? Is this a political stance? Are you not accepting Mina in her current gender?
No, he's simply referencing the man that was behind the microphone back in '93. Correct?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes. At the time, it was a Keith Caputo. Now she is a Mina Caputo.
That's fine. If you're referencing '93. Present, if you're referencing '93 back then, yes, it would be okay to say he and Keith pronouns, pal.
Well, I mean, hey,
this is going to be the most difficult
I've
episode of the Metal Hammer of Doom ever.
I have never declared my love for Yosef Islam's music, so just saying. The person, what they were known as at the time, I will reference them as such. When we get to the new album, it will be Mina Caputo. But I really dig the vocals. It's almost like a wail, like almost like a very distant, distant wailing. And I like that. It's different and it fits the style of the music really well. And I really feel like at the time it came out, I could see the band doing really well. Not gonna lie, I'm not really sure how well they've done throughout the years because I don't know jack or shit about Life of Agony. But I mean, I could see this music being very influential as well as being commercially viable in a way.
What you've heard of River Runs Red and Ugly, would you say that the topics or the content behind the songwriting and the lyrics, when you say that band name pretty much fits what's being sung about? I mean, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. If they might as well call themselves Cry for Help. I mean, like River Runs Red is like the autobiography of like pain itself. You know,
it is.
And we'll talk a little bit about what we talked about offline as far as how Keith grew up, which he talked about in an article I read before tonight's show. But I mean, River Runs Red specifically, and a lot of Ugly too, I should say, is really like, it's almost the trope of the band sort of digging deep, reaching in, and pulling out all of this, all of the stuff that they've gone through. When you say, like, as a writer, what do you write about? Write about what you know. And if you know abuse, if you know pain, if you know, psychological torment, well, then that's what you should be writing about. And that all comes out, especially in River Runs. I mean, the guy's talking about like killing himself.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the end of the album.
Yeah.
The end of the album is him fucking killing himself and his grandma or mom coming up there and finding him. It's fucked up.
Right. Yeah, it's way fucked up. As far as what Life of Agony, the commercial viability and what they meant, they were a little ahead of their time. And because of their like bleakness. See, Life of Agony was married to even though they didn't necessarily sound like this, they were married to like the New York hardcore scene. And they came up on Roadrunner Records. So like, you would see them with like Typo Negative, with whom they shared a band member. You would see them with like Pantera, that group of bands that were coming up in the 90s. The problem was like from River Runs Red to Ugly, they started to try to find a more commercially viable sound. But I mean, if you're a station engineer, if you're a station manager, and you've got all of this like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, are you going to play fucking Lost at 22? You're not. Like
if you got balls, you will.
So, yeah, if you had balls, but
or whatever you want to have.
So I mean, whatever you like. So the argument that I'm making is I don't think Life of Agony found a lot of success outside of the underground scene, outside of like college radio at best, and just the hardcore music fans buying their albums because theirs was not a commercially viable sound. I think now they could get away with that, but with 2017, the music scene is a lot different than it was in 94, 95, 96, especially if you think about what was popular at the time. Now, they tried, but it was one of those swing and a miss type deals where, like with Soul Searching Sun, they really went after that commercially viable sound and not only captured no new fans, but lost their old ones too. So that's kind of the story for Life of Agony.
Damn.
A band.
Ouch.
It was a band that was, I think, ahead of its time and captured a moment and like sort of exploded and fizzled just as quickly. Jesse, you got to listen to for the first time maybe sort of River Runs Red and Ugly today. What were some of your thoughts?
Well, River Runs Red I've actually listened to way before this. I was hip to Life of Agony through Pandora one day, and I was like, man, this is whatever. But I was like, man, this is some really good stuff, and I think I ended up either downloading the album or heading to YouTube, something like that, and listening to the whole album to where I really enjoyed River Runs Red, and I know I didn't think initially I'd heard much of Ugly going into this, but then I think shortly thereafter, listening to the album, I found that there were a few songs that I've heard before. But yeah, if we're talking what I thought of the album, after giving it, a real good listen today, had my headphones in and listening to all the lyrics that were coming out, all the little interstitials in between the songs, Monday, Thursday, Friday, for River Runs Red. You talk about passion and, putting it all out there. You can feel this man's pain. It's serious, and it's out there, and the torment that he put himself through. And, of course, talking to you online, and I'm not going to spoil anything as we go through here. You're going to mention more of the stuff that you read in the article, but there was a lot of stuff that happened in this guy's life that really you could tell came through and what you hear in both River Runs Red and Ugly. But both really good albums. I put River Runs Red up there as well, probably above Ugly if I'm rating the two. But I enjoy both of them. I've liked Life of Agony since I first heard them, but not enough to dive deep into their catalog. So glad I had the chance to do so again before we get into this album, which is I think should have had some parentheses after a place where there's no more pain, and then ... things have changed. That's what we're going to get ready. That's what we're going to be seeing here, folks. Be prepared.
So
what do you mean things?
Oh, goodness.
Things.
Easy now. So we're going to start playing some music in just a minute, but I want to preface this by talking about a conversation I had with my buddy John tonight. You all know my friend John. He's the one that designed the Fight Rattledge Fight T-shirt, which you can buy at represent.com/Fight Rattledge Fight if you want to spend $25 on a T-shirt.
Is this Freak Boy?
This would be Freak Boy, yes.
Okay.
So we were having a conversation tonight, and I was telling him about the podcast that I've been doing, and we really take great pains to separate opinion from objective criticism. Critical analysis is something that I take very seriously. It's something that I don't want to pat myself on the back and say I mastered, but it's something that was a big part of my education in both college and grad school, is to be able to look at something and critically analyze it and and be objective and leave my personal opinion out. I think we do a fairly good job of that on this show. I think Winfrey and I do a good job of that on Damn You Hollywood. I think it's kind of the staple of how we do our reviews here, whether it be for music or movies or TV, is to say, here is the thing. This is what makes it good. This is what makes it bad. And I may not necessarily like it, or I may like it, but that isn't part of objective criticism. Why am I making an issue out of that? Because I think to look at a place where there's no more pain and say, okay, well, comparing it to River Runs Red and Ugly, I don't think is fair. I'm going to come right out and say that right off the bat. I think it's not that it's a new band, but look, Mina Caputo is not going to sound like Keith Caputo. First of all, Mina Caputo is a girl now. Okay, she's a Goyle, Goil, Goyle, and Keith didn't necessarily have a high voice. I mean, Keith, to the point where my wife, the first time she heard Life of Agony, remarked, like, he sounds like he's faking, like, a deep voice, like he's trying to overcompensate. And it's funny because a lot of early reviews for Life of Agony talked about, like, machismo in the band and, being like hyper alpha and all this stuff. And I could somewhat see that with Keith's vocals. It's a very deep baritone, almost forced vocals, very distinctive and something that I liked a lot. But you're not going to find a girl who sounds like that. So right off the bat, going into this album, post-transition, there's going to be a different style of vocals. Second thing, and this goes more to the conversations we had about Metallica and some of these bands that have been around for decades now. You have a situation where, like, Slayer puts the same album out almost every time, and we've talked about how that can be a little boring. But other bands, will experiment with sound, will try to change things up, and I think you have to judge those albums on the merits of, is the album good or bad, not did the album sound like the ones before it. So going into a place where there's no more pain, which we're going to play the first track in just a minute, I really want to take care tonight to say, is this album good or bad based on its own merits, not based on how close it sounds or how good it is compared to River Runs Red or Ugly, which really do stand apart. This is almost like Life of Agony 2.0. And I think it would be fair of us to judge it that way. Does that make sense to you guys? Does that make sense to you, Robert?
Oh, you went to me first. I see how it is.
He's wanting to make him. We just want to make sure.
I mean, I'm gonna.
Yeah, but actually,
I'm not gonna judge.
Jesus. Go ahead.
Since I'm in chair 2B, that's right. Remember, Jesse, we're going to sit in this fucking seat together.
Hey, look, I couldn't even get on the podcast tonight because Blog Talk obviously decided, well, Coop's calling in. I'm not going to let Starcher have a chance to talk. So you're in Blog Talk size, you're in chair 2, sir, and I gladly give you that seat.
It was like 3 people. This isn't the right podcast. No, sir.
Give it to the.
But I fully agree with judging an album based off of the merits of the album. Though I will say I will use previous albums to, I guess, compare notes. Like, this is Life of Agony. What does this new album add to the legacy? How does it compare to the legacy? I'm not going to say that it's that I'm going to judge it based off of like, no, this album is not River Runs Red, and I don't care if it's River Runs Red or not. This is a different album, but comparing it, I mean, it's kind of comparing it on a scale of what has the band done. That's why I fucking hated fucking Super Collider so much. Fuck you, Super Collider. Because when you see how high, like a ceiling, when you see where that ceiling is, you got to at least kind of compare it to. At least that's the way I look at it. But I'm not.
Look,
I'm not
going
to compare.
I think it's okay to look at discography for context. I don't think it's okay to say, well, it's not The River Runs Red, it's not Master of Puppets, it's not fucking Holy Wars, so fuck it. You know, it's not good. I think that's shitty analysis. That's a shitty review. Unfortunately, and the reason why I'm making a mention of this, we see this more with movie reviews, but it does happen with music as well. That is some people's review. I didn't like it personally, therefore it's bad, or it's not as good as this. I even hear like with wrestling, you know, where people be like, oh well, it's not as good as this match that I saw once, therefore it's not good at all. It's like, how about just judge it based on its own merits? Jesse, you want to weigh in here, and then we'll play the first track?
Yeah. Look, we've got 5 albums in this band's discography in 24 years. Okay? That is, and they were coming out hot and heavy there at the beginning, 93, 95, 97. So there's 3 albums in a 4-year span. And then all of a sudden they drop off the face of the earth practically for 8 years, come back, and then 12 years they're gone again. So if we're wanting to talk about trying to compare it to what they previously had, as I mentioned in our chat, not only have we already mentioned the big change that occurred, but you also have the fact that a band's going to evolve over 24 years, bring in some new stuff or try some new things out. These guys probably didn't have much of a time to experiment with other sounds. And you already mentioned about how they tried at one point, and then it was just like, oh, well, shit all over you. You guys suck now. But the thing is that it's not like they took that and continued to tweak it. It sounds like they just kind of dropped that, and then they're kind of picking up where they can. Has there been any other band member changes, like in regards to, who's playing the instruments, guitars, drums, anything like that you're aware of?
I feel like everybody that's in the band got back together. Let's go ahead and play the first track, and I'll go look up their Wikipedia page and double check that for you. All right, so here we go. A Place Where There's No More Pain, released April 28th, 2017. Track 1, this is Meet My Maker. First, to answer your question, it's the original lineup for this album.
Okay.
They've had band member changes over the years. This is the original 4. Second, I listened to this album several times tonight while driving in the car to Orlando, and my wife and I both came to the same conclusion. If you did under a different set of circumstances, this band would have been hype in the 90s. Okay? And especially if nobody knew who the fuck Alice in Chains were. Holy cow. Like, the whole time I'm in the car, like, once I kind of made that connection that this album is, especially the vocal stylings from Mina,
Yes.
very like, and not what was the name of the album with them Bones? Is it Wood?
Dirt.
Dirt? Dirt, yeah. I'm talking like post-Dirt, like, No Excuses era Alice in Chains. This is right there in that milieu. So, like, the whole time in the car, like, we'd hear a song and, especially like a particular note would be hit vocally or a particular guitar riff, and I'd just be in the car going, "No excuses that I know." It's like it's right out of that mid-90s alternative, quote unquote, grunge Seattle sound. It's right at home there. Not a bad thing necessarily, but I calls it as I see it. You know what I mean?
When I first heard this first track, of course, I listened to River Runs Red and Ugly prior to this. Now, we just went through a whole not comparing thing, but that the first thing you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, well, what's changed? What sounds different? Other than the vocalist, how did their sound evolve? And, the first thing I thought of was, okay, yeah, this kind of sounds like Alice in Chains. It definitely sounds more mainstream. But it's still heavy. I wouldn't say that it's extremely. It's not metal, that's for sure. It feels like rock. But man, there is one song on here that's Alice in Chains all fucking over, and it's hard not to separate those two bands now. After hearing this, however. There's some bright spots to the album as we go forward, and I'll point those out. But, as for this first track, just to give you my analysis on it, I kind of dug it. I was bobbing my head a little bit. If I'm an Alice in Chains fan, I'm going to dig this stuff, clearly. So, Coop?
I really feel like to be Alice in Chains, you need a black guy with an afro.
Oh, goodness.
or a heroin addict.
Mercy.
Well, I mean, that was the last
gentleman.
guy. Hey, he went with that one. I was just trying to have diversity.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I forget that guy's name. The new singer of Alice in Chains. He's fucking awesome. But yeah, this I was like, man, this sounds familiar. When y'all mentioned Alice in Chains earlier, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I'm hearing. And I feel like they're not as good at doing Alice in Chains as Alice in Chains.
I'd agree.
Like an Alice in Chains, like a shitty Alice in Chains bar band.
Alice's Life of Agony.
Alice of Agony.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I've still got like. I know we're still talking about not comparing it. I'm just going to do what Jesse did here. Well, we're not going to compare it, but I've got River Runs Red running in the background here on the whole TV, and I mean they're not the same people. I mean mentally as they were at like age 20 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you could really feel a real rawness and a real aggression in their a lot of their earlier work, especially here when I'm listening to River Runs Red. I don't really feel that in this album. I mean, I know they're different people, but it doesn't even really feel like in terms of where they're coming from. It doesn't feel very similar, which I know.
No.
I mean, is a totally different person in a much better place. But this just feels like a song. This doesn't feel like something that comes straight out of this guy's life. I mean, and I don't know if that's what Life of Agony is all about, but I didn't really dissect it lyrically, but when you hear this song, you're just like, okay, this sounds like just a song. It doesn't sound like the torment that we were hearing prior to this. Now that's this first song. I think there are elements of this album where he does get that in there, but yeah, man, I agree with you, Coop. I mean, it's just it doesn't. Stop comparing. Stop comparing, Jesse. Stop saying Alice in Chains.
Nope. This could. If you had told me this was the new Alice in Chains album, I would have believed you.
Oh, dude.
I would not have doubted you for a moment. Especially like if this is like had this come out sometime around Jar of Flies, I'd have been like, yeah. Two things. One, back then I fucking hated Alice in Chains. I mean, like I was very much like if it didn't sound like Pantera and fucking Machine Head, fuck those people. So I couldn't. So like after Dirt, I was done with Alice in Chains. I'm like, this is some pussy bullshit right here. I can't take this. Now at 40, I'm like, fuck, whatever. But like I can tolerate.
I'm
You're
old
too
for
lazy
this
to
shit.
turn the channel.
I'm so over being angry about music not being metal enough. My wife dug it though. She was like, yeah. She was like bobbing her head to it. Like it wouldn't have been the first thing she would have put on. But we were in the car and she was like, see, this is my speed right here. And I'm like, yeah, you like pussy music. Your hair is everywhere, screaming infidelities. I get it. So. And she married me anyway, folks. Take a drink. But here's the other thing I got to speak on. I'm going to go ahead and play this next track. We'll round back to this. This is
all right.
If I don't play music, like we're going to be here all night. So this is track 2. This is Right This Wrong. You guys were talking about how a lot of that raw pain and aggression is somewhat absent from this iteration of Life of Agony. And it reminded me of a Family Guy bit, the Taylor Swift episode. I don't know if you've seen this, but the premise is that Taylor Swift goes out with Chris Griffin. She goes to prom with him. And then, like, afterwards, she writes this horrible song about him that's, like, not representative of how their date actually went. And he's like, why? And he's like, well, you don't understand. Like, the only reason why people like me is because I write music, about my shitty life. And he was like, but, and then they have this sort of back and forth. And she's like, you know what? You're right, Chris. I deserve to be happy. So she goes out there in front of a crowd, and she's like, I just want to let you know that I'm in love and everything is great. And people start throwing shit at her. And they're like, we only like you when you're miserable.
Uh-huh.
And I can see that, to a degree with not just this band, but a lot of bands where it's just like, when they're writing from a place of pain and anguish and anger, it comes out as aggression. It comes out as the kind of metal that a lot of us like. And then when they find that place where they are content, it's a different level of music writing, and it's not always as successful. And I don't know what that says about us as fans. Like, we're all a bunch of shitty people, who just dig miserable music. And it's just like, we want more bands. We want bands that continue to go into that well, or do we? I don't know. I'm a little hesitant to judge, because I want these guys to be happy in their life, and if they create decent music that's representative of that happiness, I'm like a little hesitant to shit on it. Not to say that you guys are, but as much as I am calling as I see it Rattledge, I also don't want to be like, well, this is terrible because you're happy. Like if it's terrible, if it's terrible, that's fine. I don't want to be like, it's lacking that aggression. Well, maybe they're not aggressive people anymore, and I think they have a right to not be aggressive. You know what I mean?
Well, you just went and talked about how this wasn't your Alice in Chains wasn't your speed, or I guess it wasn't your speed because you were set up to a higher speed than what Alice in Chains was back in the day, and things have changed now. You could give a shit less. So yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. We've talked about it though a lot of times on here, especially with evolutions of bands, about how things are going to change after time. You can't get that same moment back. As much as us nostalgic people that we are want that feeling, and music has a lot of nostalgia value. That is clear, and you want that to continue. But unfortunately, time just wears on a motherfucker. That's the way it works. Things are going to change. Attitudes are going to change. One of the things I want to point out here, and we can talk about this later on throughout the album if you guys want to save it till later, but clearly the production of this album is way, way more advanced than what we had 20 years ago. And it feels like there's... well, and the thing is that what we hear from 20 years ago is the stuff that we like. I wonder what it would be like if it was the same songs in the same production value with just Mina doing what she's doing right now.
I said that to my wife earlier. I want to go see Life of Agony in concert just because I want to hear Mina sing the old songs in the current. Like, how are you going to handle fucking Underground, or This Time with that higher, almost whiny pitch that she's got going now, that Lane Staley voice that she's got going. I want to hear how it sounds. I want to hear No Excuses, but this time. You're
gonna show up at a Life of Agony concert and start yelling out Alice in Chains songs for them to do.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna be that dick.
Do Rooster.
No excuses. I hate that song. Anyway, Robert Cooper, Right This Wrong. What'd you think of it?
I think when you stop writing aggressive music, you write Ronnie. And nobody fucking likes Ronnie. Fuck
you cut your
Ronnie?
hair.
What are you talking
It's from
about?
Metallica. It's from Load by Metallica.
Yeah, is it Ronnie's song or is it just Ronnie?
It's just called Ronnie.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I know
I mean,
exactly
it's
what you're talking about.
kind of bluesy, but it's not very good. It's like, damn, Metallica.
So you were not,
I remember that.
So, were you not happy with the second song, or are you just sort of a general comment to my spiel?
That was a comment I wanted to make about 5 minutes ago. But I mean,
okay, sorry.
with the you're good. I wasn't gonna butt in. I'll just make the joke later and then have you figure it out. How we work. It's how we work on this podcast. Yeah, I mean, the song here it's solid. Lyrically, I find it repetitive. Maybe I don't notice it was the older Life of Agony stuff because I feel like there's a lot more of a dynamic range in terms of music. But I've noticed there's a lot of a very simple rhyme scheme and not a whole lot of it in this song.
From a craft point of view, I will tell you this album isn't breaking any new ground. There's not a lot of experimental sound here. No, they're not pushing any kind of envelopes. Yeah, I would tell you, even before we get to the end of this, in summation, this is a solid hard rock album. It's a 45-degree day. Ain't no motherfucker talking about a 45-degree day. as we learned
It
from
depends
The
on where
Wire.
you're at.
Okay.
Now, if you're in Florida and it's
Baltimore-
45 degrees, it's like, God damn, get the heaters out, boys.
Well, in Baltimore, they weren't talking about a 45-degree day. That was the point.
I need to finish that
Stella
show.
was making. You really do. All right. Speaking of finishing, let's move on here. This is our title track. This is our title track, track 3. A place where there's no more pain. You know, it's the shortest song, I think, on the album, except for the very last one, which we're not going to talk about because it sucks. But I really dug A Place Where There's No More Pain. I mean, I remember when they dropped this single, and I mean, you guys know it. I've been excited for this new album for quite some time now. They announced that it was coming out last year, and they delayed it to this year for whatever the reasons were. And I have been, like, waiting with bated breath for this thing to come out. This was one of 2 singles they dropped before the album came out. And I remember, like, after getting over the sort of instinctual, like, that doesn't sound like Keith, you know, okay? Like, and it should have. But once I kind of got past it, I was like, you know, I really dig that song. See, there's where Nina's vocals and that traditional sort of aggressive, crunchy riff, Life of Agony, marry well and go well together. This is one of the high points of the album. You know, dare I say, it's their River Runs Red of this album. You know, it's that short, punchy, aggressive, melodic song that I dig about Life of Agony. They marry all those elements well, and it comes out here.
I will tell you that this song definitely had the emotional weight that I was looking for from what I should say that I was expecting from Life of Agony in this album. This seemed to be more the one that kind of got across that, you know, that heavy heart this lady now has. Although, I mean, it's funny we talk about, again, back to the evolution of bands, and how things are going for bands. We don't want them to be in pain all the time. We don't want them to suffer. You wonder if that actually affects their songwriting sometimes. Well, hey, I'm actually in a good place now. You know, should I go ahead and write a song? Well, what's bothering me? But regardless, you know, I was kind of wondering if all that's affected the album a whole lot. I think you're right. This is probably one of the better songs off the album. I'll pass it over to Coop. That's pretty much all I got to say about that track. Because the next track, oh my gosh, Alice in Chains. Go ahead, Coop.
Dude, this was a song where there was no pain.
Indeed.
Aha!
Well said.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. Well, maybe not, but close enough. I mean, I enjoyed the song. I enjoyed the way you put that. It was very much kind of reminiscent of their older style. It was fast, punchy. It had a nice guitar solo, good hook. I really kind of feel like if they could have done at least half an album of this, it would have been a lot better instead of like 2 of these songs and then Here Comes the Rooster.
Dude, first of all, if they had done a song that sounds like Rooster, it would have been better. Unfortunately, they didn't do anything that sounds like dirt.
They did have something that sounded like cock.
No goodness. Okay.
Oh, that wasn't even. I don't even think that joke was where you were putting it. I wasn't going there.
Okay. Anything else on A Place Where There's No More Pain?
No, get to the song that's going to cause pain.
Oh no!
This was a really good choice for a single.
Indeed. All right, here we go. We've been calling them out all night for being for at times sounding like a Alice in Chains cover band. So here it is, track 4, Dead Speak Kindly.
It's unfucking forgivable. It's unforgivable. There's no fucking way that you make song, produce the song, listen to it over and fucking over, practice it, go into the studio, record it. Oh, hey, lay down this track. It'd be great if you synthesize my voice just a little bit like that and go play it all out and say, this ain't a fucking Alice in Chains song. There's no fucking way that you come to that conclusion.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Jesse Starcher. Is it
absolute shite, crap, feces?
Oh my gosh. Well, here's the thing. Okay, I done told you I enjoyed Alice in Chains. So if you're going to do an Alice in Chains song, I got to give you, I guess, some credit for making it sound somewhat decent to where I actually enjoy it. I just think that if you're trying to set yourself apart as a band with a different name other than Alice in Chains, you may not want to have a song that sounds like it came off of an Alice in Chains album. There's points in this song that were, predictable, because I was listening to it and I predicted what was going to happen based off of just what I've heard in the past from Alice in Chains. Not because of what I heard from Life of Agony, but because I was like, okay, this is exactly where they would put him saying something, Lane Staley saying something, and they do it in that weird Lane Staley voice. And it was just, wow. I'm very frustrated with the fact that they left this track on there, because honestly, we're going. This is the low point of the album. It gets better from here. So don't let me really shat upon it all. This doesn't ruin the whole album. It just upsets me that they would do this, and this is like fucking in a UFO all over again.
Everybody's fucking in the UFO.
Everybody's fucking in the UFO. They got a big brown beaver.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to talk about Coop? Do you want to talk about Heaven Beside You? I mean, Don't Speak Kindly.
Hey, this one really reminded me of Check My Brain. From the new what was it? Black Turns.
There you
Gives
go,
Way
the
to
newer
Blue.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it really reminded me of modern Alice in Chains, with kind of that more sludge-like drag to the guitar sound. Yeah, this was. I'm pretty sure Mina was like, all right. It's like, man, I'm kind of feeling some inspiration today. Let's make a song. But
I
first,
just don't get it.
What was that?
I don't get it.
Oh, I thought it was a sound clip. I'm like, what the fuck? Where did that come from?
Yeah, you might. I'm going to record nothing but me on Audacity saying that over and over again because that comes up quite often.
I don't get it.
I mean, hey, it'll go as well as the bad pun clip that Mark uses. That really confuses me half the time because I'm wondering why everybody's still laughing. And then we start making this? Turkey noises.
Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, it's a living, huh? Wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Hang on one.
Oh, shit.
All right. Are we ready to move on from this silliness to a new low?
I think. Okay. Here's the deal. If the song is unlistenable, we play the unlistenable clip. If it's an okay song, but damn, you should have tried a little bit harder, you do the wah wah wah. I mean, that's clearly deserves such things.
It deserves a turkey.
Get the fucking turkey sounds.
That's good.
I love how it's always. I'm the one that's always fucking cracking up to that clip too. Like y'all are like always quiet, and I'm just fucking yucking it up over here.
It never stops being funny. All right, this is track 5, a new low. Your depressing life of agony. There you go.
Yeah. And what's funny is, I mean, this is the point where I told you guys, I think this is where it feels more unique to me. And it actually starts to, when it comes to a craft standpoint, I believe that the album starts to make a turn here and actually go for the better. And as the song goes on, it gets a little bit more varied, but it definitely stands out to the first few that we heard earlier, in my opinion. And I don't think this one doesn't feel like the standard fare that we got for the first few songs.
Well, I feel like it does harken back to I'm gonna go with more of the ugly era of Life of Agony. I feel like, again, that alienation is there, that aggression is there. Mina's voice actually gets a little deep on this one. You can start to hear shades of Keith coming out during the chorus. So, I dug this track. Lyrically, like I said, it takes you right back to 93 and 95, which is weird because, so thematically, if a place where there's no more pain is sort of a celebration of the band as a whole finding a better place in their lives, but Mina especially, and I want to take the time to say this. Maybe some of you listening to this out there have an issue with the transgender folks, and I'm not going to get into like that end of it. I will say I think everyone has a right to be happy, and as long as you're not hurting anybody else. If you truly believe that you were meant to be something that you were not born as, and you go about fixing it, and now you're happy, then I'm happy for you. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. I know there are people I know personally who think that transgendered folks are insane and all this other stuff, and I'm not here to discuss that. I'm not the authority on such matters. I just know that there's a degree of happiness in some of these songs on this album, and I think A Place Where There's No More Pain, the album, is sort of a celebration of finally being true to themselves and finding a place of contentness. And as a fan, and as just a decent human being, at least I think I'm a decent human being, I'm happy for them.
Oh, let's not go too far.
And I don't, and I don't think, I don't wish misery on people. Certainly not people I'm a fan of. I think my issue with this album is, and while I like this song, thematically it's also a little inconsistent. It's just like, yay, I found this place of contentness. But here's a song about how I don't fill in and feel shitty. All right, well, which is it, Mina? Make up your mind. But I guess as I say that, and I have to do this whole preamble about how people don't accept transgendered folks, you can still be okay with yourself and still feel alienated from the rest of the world because they don't accept you. So there it is. I've come full circle on that. I've corrected myself.
You've made a perfect circle.
Oh God, there's not a band I can't
My
stand.
buddy's watching them right now. He watched them in concert.
Don't worry, I've been trying to fit a misery index pun in here somewhere, but I'm kind of having to work it in.
That's what she said. Hi-oh.
Yay!
Hey!
Hey!
Hi-oh.
Tried to keep.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. Sorry, I enjoyed this song. Yeah, you fellas kind of said what I was going to say. Like, hey, look, it's not Alice in Chains. That's nice.
Hooray!
Which I'm wondering, do you think the Alice in Chains sort of thing came from them having a new sound as a band, or did they kind of fit it around maybe her new vocal stylings? I was kind of spitball.
I think it's a good question. Because really, the vocalist is usually the quarterback of the group. And if to use a sports analogy, you put a new quarterback in the game, sometimes that game plan's got to change. So if that's the case, they probably had to really figure out how are we going to work and make this sound good around, Mina's vocal stylings. Mark?
I go back to Soul Searching Sun, and they significantly changed their sound even back then. And Keith's vocals changed as well. So I would tell you, I feel like their Alice in Chainsy sound is really is just them sort of transitioning as a band out of what they were for their first two albums into something more commercially melodic.
There you go.
I'm going to go with melodic, seeing as that they may have attempted viable and didn't quite succeed, but it is melodic. So, but here we have track 6, "World Gone Mad." It was the second single they dropped, and we go right back to the heavy here. right, that's easily my favorite track on this entire album. I just added to the best of the 2017 mix that I've got going on. It's a solid rock anthem. Lyrically, I thought it was very, very good. It's the most upbeat of all of these, I think. Just all around, I think this is where the album sort of hits the peak.
Foo Fighters, and then I'll say that I like the song.
That is what I was like. Fuck, this feels like something. What does it feel like?
Feels like the fucking Foo Fighters, dude.
It's not Christian rock. What could it be?
I do agree with you.
I can't get the Foo. Fuck you, Jesse. I can't get the Foo Fighters out of my head now. God damn.
Oh well, I'm. Listen, it is a good song. I do like it, and I honestly find myself enjoying this next part of this album a lot more than I did prior to those first 4 songs. So it's got its merits. It's a rock song. It's good. It's nothing that stands out, but it's still enjoyable.
Ladies and gentlemen, 90s cover band, Life of Agony.
Oh, God. At least they're not when my buddy went and saw Jake E. Lee's Red Dragon Cartel, and what opened for them were Hair Nation, which was a hair metal cover band. He just kind of called them Hairless Nation because they were all bald.
Oh, nice.
Waka waka.
What are they representing? Yeah. Fucking hair band with no hair. Come on.
They're an oxymoron?
I guess. Is that a gimmick? I don't get it.
Either that or it's just a Bosley poster.
All right, Coop. If we can be serious for a moment. World Gone Mad. What do you think? Other than the Foo Fighters.
Storm. I mean, yeah, it's Foo Fighters. I mean, the song is fine. It's definitely a rock song. There's no real trace of metal in there. Like, it is kind of light and airy, and it's positive, which is, I mean, it's a fine song. I can dig it. It's definitely not Alice in Chains, so it's good to see that they're spreading their inspirations around.
All right, gentlemen, you know that, while we do the show, I'll also be on Facebook and Twitter or whatever. Something relevant or something interesting comes up, we will stop the show and we will talk about it. So I have breaking news. Let me go ahead and play our breaking news theme.
Jesus!
All right, here we go.
Yo, you officially made Glenn's hand. You officially made Sandig the fucking breaking news theme. Jesus.
It's labeled breaking news. That's what I pressed. All right.
I think I did that one day and forgot it.
So our story comes from Portland, Oregon. Not a Florida man story, but it could have been. Man accused of sexually abusing a chicken. A Jackson County, Oregon man is
there are
accused
drugs
of
involved here.
Sexually abusing a chicken and is being held on $25,000 bail. Joshua Brian Waltman allegedly touched the chicken's sex organs to get aroused, and he also allegedly exposed himself in public. Further details about the Monday incident were not released by the Medford police. Waltman appeared in court Tuesday as he has another court date on May 15th. He's charged with sexual assault of an animal, public indecency, menacing, and second-degree disorderly conduct.
Speaking of Waltman, did you guys see about old Sean Waltman there getting arrested over in Vegas? Was it Vegas or California, Los Angeles?
Last I had heard, he was disappeared, but I didn't know why.
Yeah, that's because his ass got arrested for having meth and pot.
Oh, you know what? I did hear about that. Well, fuck that guy. Get clean, get help, get something.
The 1, 2, 3 kid. What? Well, still, and tell Mr. Chicken Fondler, come on, dude. I mean,
you know what that reminds me of? You've seen Super Troopers, right?
I have not.
Oh, fucking Super Troopers. Give me $20. I'll call him a chicken fucker. Farva, no. All right, $20. Call him a chicken fucker. He just shows up at the fucking window. License and registration, chicken fucker.
I will remember that.
Alrighty.
And the funny
Next
thing
track.
is you watch the commentary. That was his parents, and they had no idea that was coming.
Oh,
yeah, that was one of the cast members' parents, and they had no idea that was coming. So the shocked look on their face is very real.
All right, track 7, Bag of. As we transition out of this, track 7, Bag o' Bones. That is a tale of two songs right there. One of them, Jesse's uploading for me right now. But let's talk about that chorus for a second, because I want to go back to the other part of the song in just a minute. The chorus of the song is sort of its own separate entity. It's pretty heavy. It kind of saves the whole thing from sounding like a different song, because it does become very distinctual, but distinctive. That's a real word.
Distinctual.
But distinctual. I mix up the good words. But that first one there, I'm gonna play something for you guys, and just the beginning of the first part of that song, just like as we were listening to it, like that last song, you guys were like, oh, it jumped right at you that it was Foo Fighters. This is what jumped out at me with this song. This is, I'll play it.
Everybody knows the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows that the war is over. Everybody knows that the good guys lost. Everybody knows the fight is fixed. The poor stay poor and the rich get rich. That's how it goes. Everybody knows the boat is sinking. Everybody knows that the captain lied. Everybody's got this broken feeling, like their mama or the dog just died. Everybody's hands are in their pockets. Everybody wants a box of chocolates and a long stem rose. Everybody knows.
You guys hear it?
Yeah, I can definitely feel what we just listened to from Life of Agony. Sounds like it was a more sped up version of that song. A little bit louder.
Everybody Knows. Yeah, that's Everybody Knows by Concrete Blonde. And you get the impression with this album that before they sat down and started writing, they just was just sitting on the floor, doing each other's hair, painting each other's nails, and just flipping through their 90s records, just listening to the Foo Fighters and Alice in Chains and Concrete Blonde and going, hey, remember the 90s when, remember all this great music? Let's do an album that just celebrates all of that. Because that's what this is starting to sound like. Like, Life of Agony presents the 90s.
I hope not.
He presents the 90s.
I mean, dude, okay, look, at some point, I guess in our older age, we start to hear things that really sound a lot like something that we've heard before. Maybe there's probably some kind of a term for that, but not samey, because we own a copyright on that. But look, it almost scares me, music is going to grow. Yes, we do. We need Samesy and Chainsy for this album. Chainsy is definitely one that fits.
Chainsy.
I really should start a Rattlegion Broadcasting store, and we need a Samesy T-shirt, and we need a Take a Drink T-shirt.
Yes, take a drink.
The Rattlegion Broadcasting drinking game, and just on the back it says "Take a drink."
There you go.
We need to release our own bingo boards.
Oh, there you go.
That'll be the design.
That's the way to do it.
All right. Jesse's trying to make a point. Go, Jesse.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, I fear that someday we're going to run into an era where music is just continually recycling shit that we've heard before.
It is now. Look, there's plenty of albums where I can call out and say, like, yeah, this sounds like something I've heard before. That doesn't necessarily make it bad. I mean, this is a review podcast. I would be remiss if I didn't point the shit out.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily take away, at least for me, it doesn't take away from my enjoyment of it. I mean, I listened to Bag of Bones like 5 times in the car today, and I'm only now making the connection to Concrete Blonde. And if I wasn't sitting here having to deconstruct the album, I don't even think I would have thought about it, to be honest with you.
Okay. Coop, is that a fear that you have at all, or are you just too young to actually recognize it yet, you young whippersnapper?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have to worry about my old age catching up with me quite yet, even though I do have 18. Even though I do have 18-year-old coworkers, I'm like, you've never seen the original Xbox? What the fuck?
Oh
God.
No.
That fucker plays RuneScape. He pays for RuneScape. Fucking RuneScape, Mark. I don't think you understand. It was garbage when I was when I was 13. It was trash. That was 12 years ago. Anywho, Bag of Bones. It was a song. I didn't mind it. But in terms of like worrying about songs becoming, music becoming the same, I'm not really worried about that because I always feel like there's something new you can bring to the table. Look at bands like, look at Throssenblatt. Look at fucking Throssenblatt. Look at what they did. They managed to take elements of black metal, folk music, and then high concept bullshit from fucking Cthulhu mythos There you go. I mean, throw those things together. Look at Vector. Vector was doing. They managed to do at least. Actually, yeah. You know what? They did a really good technical death metal album with interesting sci-fi lyrics. Look at Neo Blue the Scars. They have a fucking violin. So I'm not really worried about music becoming the same because I always feel like as music is going to progress, it's going to. I mean, it kind of does eat itself after a while. Like things start disappearing and they'll come back 20 years later or what have you. But it's I'm not really too worried about like music disappearing in terms of a. I guess you could say a form of artistic expression. I'm not really worried about that as much. But just some bands like I can kind of feel here in Life Agony. I'm just not really. Maybe because I know, like I said, different people than what released music 20 years ago. I'm wondering if they're maybe still looking to, even though it's been 12 years, still maybe looking for that thing that really sparks a unique sound from them, or makes them feel like I don't know.
I was going to say, I mean, you've got to come out with albums consistently with what you have in order to make it better, I would think. You can't just have that long of a gap between the creative process, and pop something out that sounds great. They got to stay at it in order to improve their sound, I would think. So what we're probably listening to right now is probably going to be it's going to be like a first album for them. In a lot of in a lot of aspects. So hopefully from this point forward, the next few albums are just going to get better and better, and they'll be able to hone their craft or hone their sword, such as you would on RuneScape, Mark.
Oh,
yeah, I ain't playing no
RuneScape.
Yeah, I ain't playing no fucking RuneScape, man. If it wasn't Civilization, it ain't shit. All right,
nerd.
This is track 8. This is Walking Catastrophe. That song's good. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. Different than some of the other stuff we've heard on here, and it didn't immediately shout out another band. So that's an improvement. I don't have much more to add to that. Jesse?
I agree. I think this is one of my favorite songs off of the album, just because it's more unique than what we've heard from some of the other stuff. So, but yeah, it's heavy. So I give it a thumbs up as well.
Cool.
Yeah, it gets a tick up on the bar just because it was heavy. Because it's the Metal Hammer of Doom.
There you go. This is the Metal Hammer of Doom.
That is right.
Take a drink, everybody.
Damn it! I want metal in my Hammer of Doom. Damn it.
That's right.
All right. So this is the last track we're going to play. It's not the last track on the album. There's one more here. A lot of reviews gave the very last track like a lot of positive praise. It's just noise to me, and it wasn't worth discussing. So the last track we're going to discuss on here is Song for the Song Sung Blue. Everybody knows. Sorry. Song for the Abused.
I'll cast the blame, you point at me. I'm so ashamed of my jealousy. I feel the rage occur to me, but I don't do a goddamn thing. I see the rain, it's flooding me. Hold my breath till I can't breathe. Unlock the cage and set it free. You bring out the worst in me. 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 This ain't the life I've got to choose now. Another song for the abused. Ain't the worst you've ever seen, yeah. Just an empty shell of what used to be. So afraid they'll come for me. Paranoia's killing me. And when they speak to me, twisting all of my thoughts and dreams. I feel relief, you feel me bleed. Question everything I see. In desperation's all I need. You bring out the worst in me. 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 This ain't the life I've got to choose now. Another song for the abused. Ain't the worst you've ever seen, yeah. Just an empty shell of what used to be. This ain't the
All right. I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna group this in with my final thoughts on this album. That song is a B. This album is a solid B. It is a good, not great. I didn't love it, but it is a solid, competent 90s rock album. I think if you're looking for that nostalgic 90s alternative, God, I hate the fucking term alternative, by the way, but alternative, grunge, Seattle sound, I think you'll find it in this album. I think it brings you there to that era. And look, there are certainly plenty of people who, you know, that era of music, that was their shit, that was their jam. Certainly that style of music was popular and sold a lot of records and a lot of concert tickets. So there's something to be said for it. I think that my biggest problem with this album is it's a little inconsistent. Again, we have as I said before, I don't know if I would have paid too much attention to it. I mean, I couldn't get away from the Alice in Chains thing. But, you know, like the Foo Fighters and Concrete Blonde, I don't even know I would have thought about it, you know, had I just been listening. But, yeah, this at times got a little too far into the we're going to just rip off Alice in Chains' sound. And that, to me, I think takes away from the overall presentation. When they started to sound a little bit more like Life of Agony and a little bit less like Alice in Chains, the album is better. But because it's a mishmash of the two, you get that sort of inconsistency. I wanted to. I was really looking forward to this, and like I said, it's not a bad album craft-wise, but it's a bit of a letdown for me as a fan. I wanted to love it. I don't love it. It's just okay, but I'm glad I bought the T-shirt. Jesse?
Yeah. Well, I echo a lot of what you've already said. I will say that this band it's an interesting enigma when you think about it. A band that's known each other, the members have known each other. We're talking about the original lineup that's been around for 20 plus years. And we have it's kind of like, I think you said Life of Agony 2.0. This is a band that's all of a sudden trying to find its identity again when its lead singer struggled with that for most of his/her life. You talk about when you put those things into perspective for a hard rock band that takes the stage day in and day out, goes on tour. That's a lot on a person's plate. Somebody who's famous, and for them to come up and bring this album out. I mean, after getting a gender change, there has got to be a lot of things that you're going to be concerned about when it comes to performing on stage and singing. I mean, my gosh, I had to have racked Keith or Mina's brain for the longest time, but they got over that. And that's a testament to Mina's tenacity at bringing everybody music and having this band out there. So what we're looking at is the ground floor of something new. So this is, after learning everything that I did about these people, which folks, do yourself a favor and go online and learn about Keith and Keith's life growing up and his change into Mina. So it's interesting. At least you have an idea of where all this pain and I don't want to say confusion, but all this pain and sometimes a lot of regret, especially when it comes to his family life, that went into those earlier albums, and now we're dealing with something totally brand new. It's like a phoenix that I don't want to say a phoenix that's risen from the ashes, but something similar to that. It's a great change that we have to deal with. We got to see this album. I think if we give them more time, they're going to evolve. The sound's going to hopefully get better. I really hope they understand the criticism about Alice in Chains is not unfounded. I hope that they take that to heart and realize, okay, we can do better in this. But other than that, I do want to say that I will give this album an easy thumbs up because there are a lot of songs on here that I enjoy, even the Alice in Chainsy ones. So, Coop.
Alice in Chains. Yeah, this album overall, solid, unspectacular, at least from where I'm sitting. The Alice in Chainsy stuff was fine. I liked it better when Alice in Chains did it.
Agreed.
But I could respect them maybe if they found influence in them, or maybe this is just kind of the new style that they're going on with Mina's new singing. I don't know. But overall, the album was just kind of solid to me. It wasn't really anything all that special. I'm very happy that I listened to Old Life of Agony now that I could throw that on the old playlist, because that was fucking awesome. And I'm really happy that I listened to that. But yeah, this was... maybe this is like a new starting point. Maybe it'll be Life of Happiness from here on out. I don't know.
A basket full of kittens.
There we go. Puppies and hugs. So I guess
that's right.
We'll
the basket full of puppies was the joke.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the Anthrax bit was a basket full of puppies, not kittens. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Life of Happiness.
No, anywho. So yeah, overall, yeah, it was an album that had some bright points. It really wasn't much of a metal album, but maybe that's not what they're going for. I don't know. From where I was sitting, I gave it like a 2 out of 5. It was okay. It's a little below average for me, but if you like it, you like it. I ain't gonna sue you. I mean, it's fine for what it is. If you find inspiration, or if this is definitely your thing, hey, good for you. It's just here comes the rooster.
We ain't gonna die, baby. We ain't gonna die. All right.
There's a woman in a box, pretty much living in her, unfortunately living in the sadness of her life.
Oh, man.
There's a Mina in a box.
So many inappropriate
jokes. My shit.
Muttley has made his appearance.
Oh gosh,
all right.
Muttley. Somewhere Tommy Dreamer just came out and got hit in the face with something.
With a frying pan. All right. that about wraps it up again here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. Go back in the archives this week. Jesse and Ronnie Adams talked Wizard, a particular Wizard magazine from way back when.
Ooh.
Alexis
I love Wizard.
Hana came on the TV party tonight, and we discussed the Powerpuff Girls Season 1 back in 1998, speaking of the 90s. Tomorrow night, here on the Rattlers Broadcasting Network, we got an on-trial. Sean and he will prosecute and I will defend the Jodie Foster science fiction movie Contact. Next week, here on the old RIBN, it's Guardians of the Galaxy week. So we'll be discussing on source material, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Abnett and Leggett, Abnett and who? Who's
Lanning.
the other?
I thought it was Lanning. Lanning, I think.
Abnett
Lanning.
Abnett and Lanning, Volume 1, Legacy, which is issues 1 through 6, largely an inspiration for our current set of Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And speaking of which, it's the summer return of Damn You Hollywood. You're going to get nearly 12 straight weeks, actually 11, because we're taking off the week of the Mummy because I can't fucking take it. 11 weeks of solid movie reviews, our Summer Sizzling Tour. Thank you, Jim Cornette. It starts with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume Deuce. Robert Cooper is finally able to make 2 shows in a row. Hot damn. He'll be, and since he actually was able to make it to the show, and he didn't want to do Motionless in White, you bastard.
Why would I want to do Motionless in White?
Because I like that loud song, that's why. But no, Robert Cooper, when he makes it to his show, he's a part of things here. So he got to pick the next album, and he picked Vampire with Primeval Force. So we're going to review that next week here on the old MHOD. And then we get a double dose of Sean Comer, as he is going to make me watch and review The Hunter from the Future. God bless us all. We finally got a date for our cover show. That's going to be in 2 weeks, May 17th. What are we up to? This is our 3rd or 4th cover. This has got to be our 4th cover show, right? I feel like we did 2, and then the 3rd one was the one that Jesse refereed between us. That was Army versus Navy. That was the night that I
won.
Okay, so yeah, this is okay. So this is now. I gotta edit the title now. This is Covers 4, the rematch. The rematch. All right.
Covers 4, the Mighty Ducks.
Covers 4, Rattlers versus Drago. All right, so here's how this is gonna fly. I'm gonna pick. What is it now? Do we do even numbers? Do we do odd numbers? Do we do 5? Do we do 4? How did we do it the last time? Do you remember?
I think we went with 4. I want to say 4. You each picked 4. I got to pick 3, just so I could throw them in there. That gives us 11 songs. So, if you guys want to do 5, you can. We can't have a tie. We can't have a tie.
Yeah. So I think we both need to pick 5 songs,
okay.
and then Jesse can pick 3. That gives us 13. That's not terrible. 3. That's sort of an interlude. Jesse's interludes.
There you go.
So you pick 5. I pick 5. Jesse picks 3 interludes, and Jesse picks the right songs, because this is the Metal Hammer of Doom.
Cooper, be ready. He's already strategizing. He's done told me. So be ready, okay?
Yeah. Oh, I got the plan. I got the plan to butter up Jesse, my main man. So.
I called him your
Biscuit,
main
y'all.
man. Hey, how's that ass? Hey, Kobe, tell him how his ass tastes.
Delicious. May 17th, Covers 4, the rematch. I'm gonna get you, Coop. I'm gonna get you, sucker. And then we go to Alien
we coming
Week.
for you.
On Alien.
I actually made that joke last week, I think, too.
The week of the 24th is Aliens Week. We got all kinds of Aliens content. Not to mention, not so much aliens as they are dragons. Dragon Force. Reaching into Infinity. That's May 24th. And then we finish off May with Pirates Week here on the Rattlevision Broadcasting Network. And our addition to Pirates Week will be Ailstorm. No grave but the sea. We got an entire week of pirate stuff to talk about.
It's going to be beautiful.
We'll be doing Ailstorm, No Grave but the Sea. So those are all our May shows. We got shows booked out all the way through June. The June calendar is full. We got Dream Evil. We got Dream Evil. We got Dream Evil. We got Unleash the Archers. That's gonna be a Coop's pick and a Coop-led show because I will be seeing you two play the Joshua Tree live. So you guys will go on without me, which will be fine. So we got Unleash the Archers coming up in June, and then of course I've been looking forward to this show all year. June 21st. Happy birthday to Maki. Nickelback.
Oh, jeez.
Can't wait. So we'll be reviewing the new Nickelback on Nickelback. I wouldn't give you a penny back. Jesse, we got to get that uploaded at some point before that show.
Oh,
okay, I need Nickelback.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't give you a penny back. Work on that for me.
Nickelback. God,
yeah.
what have I done?
No. You have to make sure you're available. We have to review Nickelback. It's in the contract.
Why the fuck are we reviewing Nickelback on the Metal Podcast?
Why aren't we reviewing Nickelback? That's the question you should be asking. And we
because
got
they're
Transformers
fucking
Week.
Nickelback.
Nickelback. You know we're gonna have fun on that show.
We are going to test the listenership. That's what we're doing. It's all about figuring out how far we can take it.
I will make a prediction now that is our most downloaded show all year.
Oh yes, and Ghostbusters will be a $1 billion movie.
Fuck you, Jesse Starcher. The following week is Transformers Week. We're going to go in the Wayback Machine and review the Transformers, the cartoon movie soundtrack. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. What a great soundtrack that
I
was.
own that movie on Blu-ray.
I so look forward to that.
All right, July. Our July shows. We got Iced Earth. We got Danzig. We got Dying Fetus. Wrong Ones to Fuck With. And then I won't be around for the July 26th show. I'll be on my way to see Jesse, as a matter of fact. I'll be on my way to West Virginia. And we'll be taking a little sojourn into Pittsburgh to go see Primus and Clutch. So that night, you guys will be reviewing Tankard. That's the one I picked for you. Tankard, 1 Foot in the Grave, I believe it's called. Yeah, 1 Foot in the Grave. Is that okay, Coop? You okay with? Okay, good. I picked a good one then.
Bunch of fucking drunk Germans.
Yep, I figured that would be a good one for you guys. A little Teutonic thrash for you. So I won't be around for that one, but it'll be another Coop's pick by way of Mark's pick for Tankard, 1 Foot in the Grave. And then the following week is Daredevil Week. We'll be reviewing. We're all picking a few songs from the Daredevil soundtrack in the month of August, and we'll review just 12 songs or so from the Daredevil the movie soundtrack with Ben Affleck. A lot of fun will be had, I'm sure. And finally, we got new MOD. Yes, Method of Destruction, Busted, Broke, and American. We'll be reviewing that on August 9th, and then our last show that I have scheduled for the time being on August 16th, new Goat Whore, baby. Yes, we end where we began. Goat Whore, Vengeful Ascension. So it's a summer of fun here on. How do you feel about Accept? There's a new Accept album coming out on August 4th. I took it off the calendar and I replaced it with MOD, but I can throw it back on there for the 23rd if you want.
Fucking Accept has been really good since I came back about 6 years ago.
All right, so you want me to throw it back on the calendar?
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
All right. Well, we have to do the new MOD, and we have to do Goat Whore. Goat Whore, ladies and gentlemen.
I wish we had a transcript of this show just so we could find out how many times you fucking said that tonight.
Oh, we forgot about, and there was one more offensive band name, John Cougar Concentration Camp.
Oh man!
Why aren't we? Why aren't we?
Why aren't we?
Wait a minute now. John Cougar Concentration. Hang on, he's gonna get on Spotify. John Cougar Concentration Camp. John Cougar Concentration.
That is a band. I don't know if they're on
That's
Spotify, but they're a thing.
Oh no, they exist. Here we go. John Cougar Concentration Camp.
Let's hear some song titles.
Well, their last album was from 2003. It looks like, at least according to, and this is all demo, so fuck this. Their last proper album is from 1998, and we have let's see, it's called Too Tough to Die. We've got Mama's Boy, I'm Not Afraid of Life, Too Tough to Die, Durango 95, Warthog, Danger Zone. Please tell me that's a cover. Chasing the Night, Howling at the Moon, Just Shalala, Daytime Dilemma, Dangers of Love, Planet Earth, 1988. Ooh, I hope that's Duran Duran. Humankind.
Just to let you know, 170 monthly listeners, and number 4 on where it's being listened to the most is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Excellent. So, when should I throw on the John Cougar Concentration Camp?
Is there any Jewish holidays we can
I
move
was
that around?
going to make that joke. I was going to go there. I didn't want to say on fucking Holocaust Memorial Day or something. We'll do it on D-Day.
What's happening?
Is D-Day too late?
All right, I've had enough of this. Those are all my plugs, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll book it live. I'll write it myself.
We're not doing it live. We're not doing it at all. God damn it. Just get a hold of yourselves. All right, Jesse Starcher, go ahead with your plugs.
All right, now for the second half of the show, okay? Mark Radulich and Robert Cooper, is the Terminator a cyborg?
What the fuck, dude?
Just kidding. Coop, what do you think? Just give me a yes or no answer. Terminator or cyborg?
He's just...
You got to say yes or no. You can't go into a long explanation.
Ooh, no.
All right, there we go. Vote has been tallied.
Not for nothing, but I got a lumbar puncture and chemotherapy in the morning. Get on with this. I don't want to be a part of this debate any longer.
Man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can find out if me and Ronnie Adams agree as to whether Terminator is a cyborg. When you could go back, and Mark plugged it already, but go back and listen to us talk about Wizard Comics Magazine number 8 from April of 1992, where me and Ronnie, we competed at the comic book IQ quiz. Oh, yeah, that's right. Shit went down. And boy, was that a lot of fun. But, ladies and gentlemen, go give the Radulich and Broadcasting Facebook page a like to stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. Also, there's a snazzy shirt that you can go check out. Fight Radulich Fight. Absolutely give some thought to helping our patriarch, Mark Radulich, and his battle with cancer. So check that out as well. We are on Blog Talk Radio. Obviously, if you're listening to this live, we are on iTunes, we are on Stitcher, we are on TuneIn Radio, and thanks to our partnership with our good friend Sean Garmer, we are now on Spreaker.com as well, where a good bit of our shows have been showing up over there, and you probably have noticed we've got quite a bit of Wrestling to the Max content over here as well. So W2M.net. Coop, I know you usually plug them, so I'll let you, please feel free to plug them again. But lots of their content's been showing up here, so make sure to check them out. Check us out on Spreaker. Man, how many formats are we going to be on before? Spotify has a podcast section on there. That's going to be our next goal. Rattleitchin Broadcasting Network, taking over the world. That's all I got. If you want to follow me, I'm at Stiznarkey. I do a comic book podcast, as alluded to earlier, called Source Material. You can follow us on Facebook. Just type in hashtag Source Material. You want to find all sorts of crap. We're also on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel where we talk about comics. I even show pictures of comics. Holy crap. Can't usually do that in podcast format. But listen, go give all those things a like, and that's it. Coop, take over.
You know what you should do? You show a picture of the band Goat Whore on Source Material. And I predict
number
after
47.
And I predict after we review the new Goat Whore, we will be on the Spotify podcast section.
There we go.
Might I add, before Coop gives his plugs and we get out of here for the night, let me just add Goat Whore. Goat Whore, ladies and gentlemen.
Coop, take over.
Goat Whore.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's not what I'm taking over? Ah, shit. Anywho, yeah, there's this podcast on the Rattleitchin Broadcasting Network. I almost called it the Rattleitchin Broadcasting Network, but it's close enough, you know. So, yeah, it's here. BlogTalkRadio.com/411 MMA Radio, even though we're not, like, you know, on really 411 Mania that much anymore. But, hey, what are you going to do? So there's this podcast, and there's a Sentai Rider podcast that I still haven't done an episode in almost 2.5 years now. Find us at Facebook.com/Sentai Rider Podcast. That is SENTAI Radio Podcast. We got 4 fucking likes this week. How? Because the fucking South Americans. Thank you, South America. God, these people love me. And then, yeah, there's WTMnet.com. My buddy Sean Garmer, he hosts our shit, and we host some of his shit, and he still hasn't posted my fucking video game review.
Damn it.
And you know what? He's been bugging me about writing that second game review, and I really want to get to it, but damn. Which I am going to get to it, because, I mean, it's not going to be a hard review to write, but damn. So I am in an article that they have on their site, the Wrestling Don Toku 2017, the New Japan May event that they have. It's not really a pay-per-view. Yeah, I write up one of the matches, my opinions on the match of what was it? Oh yeah, it was a Suzuki Goon versus Chaos. That was the shitty members of Chaos, too, because nobody likes Yado. Fuck Yado. God, that guy's one of the worst fucking wrestlers going right now. Oh, he's so old and saggy. So, yeah, if you want to go find my thoughts on that, that's a thing. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, that's all I have for plugs, except for Lowe's Home Improvement. Don't go there. Don't go there. I work there. Don't fucking give that bastard Niblock any more money.
Not a sponsor.
He fired half the management staff in all the stores. Guy's a cunt.
Ooh.
Ouch. Strong words.
Oh, hey, there's a new Cranberries album out. I'm going to have to add that to my playlist.
You can do that on the Country Washboard of Jubilation, sir.
Oh, crap. You know what I just found out was coming out?
Goat Whore?
Goat Whore!
Goat Whore? Oh, boy.
Woo!
Now we need a new Anal Cunt album. We'll fucking dig Seth Putnam's fat, rotting corpse up from the grave.
Well, I think the problem is he's too busy with Anal Trump is the issue there.
Oh, I forgot about Anal Trump. Oh,
I bought that
boy,
album.
oh, boy.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have lasted with us this long, I applaud you. If you'll be back next week, we'll be back at our regular time of 9 o'clock. I won't have a friend in town keeping me out late, so we will go live. Fuck it, we'll do it live, 9 o'clock, Eastern Standard Time. For the disapproving dad, Jesse Starcher, the third chair. For the second chair, we're glad to have him back, Robert Cooper. I love you. I am your mandated.
I love you too, Mark, from my fucking third chair.
I am your mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified. This has been the Metal Hammer of Doom. Be well, be safe, and be goat whore.
Calling all parents. Get up to 50% off all of Old Navy's amazing kids and baby styles right now. Hurry in for $2 flip-flops, $4 tees and tanks, $6 graphic tees, and $8 dresses and boy shorts at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. High fashion, Old Navy. Valid 5/1 to 5/9.